Okay, y'all. So I'm up here attempting to. I just went through a whole thing where I didn't record. But what I'm attempting to do is um, put some highlights in this wig that I purchased. So what I did, what I started out with doing, and I'm really kind of pissed right now because I just went through this whole spill. I'm gonna circle back, but what I had done, I had actually had this thing in about 4 different sections. I'm actually applying the powder developer and a 30, I guess this stuff is called a lift. I don't freaking know. And I'm using what I call a comb method because I really don't want the whole thing to just be like popping. I think we're gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be okay. So what I'm gonna circle back and I'm gonna talk to y'all for a minute because I just had this. I thought I had this recording, and apparently I didn't. So we're gonna chat for a bit as soon as I work this in, and hopefully I'm gonna get the results that I'm after. Alexa, set timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Yeah, this stuff just looks a little powdery still, but I can actually see that it's lifting. So I think we're going to be okay. All right. And I'm just spackling. Hi, that's a good term to use. I'm spackling. Spackling this color on here. All right. And then I'm going to talk to y'all as soon as I get this on the way that I want it. And again, I'm kind of combing this through to distribute the product because I want streaks. And we'll see if this works. Okay, now let's chat. So after 3 attempts, I tried to lift or color this wig, which was a 1B when I purchased it, to this color that I have now, which is kind of like a chestnut brown. I don't know if you can tell. So I tried twice with some semi-permanent color because I do not know what I'm doing. And nothing happened. So I called my cousin who's gone to cosmetology school, and she was telling me about, you know, I have to bleach it first and then color it and all this and all that. But right before calling her, I went onto YouTube, found a really good YouTube video, but I was still afraid because, again, I have not done this before. So after 2 attempts, I educated myself on this glorious YouTube video that I'll share. And this is now the 3rd attempt. 3rd time is a charm, maybe? Stay with me. All right, so what I did, I went back to my beauty supply store and I purchased, and I would have opened it upside down, but I purchased this powder, which is a lightener. I'm using this developer. This is the cream peroxide developer. I'm using a 30. That's what I'm using to actually lift her. What I did prior to that, I parted her in about 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. I left the sides and the back out because I wanted to start there first. Okay? So feel me. Work with me now. Work with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Work with me. Yeah. So I went ahead and I applied it. But the technique I was using, instead of a foil, because I found out if you use a foil, that's going to help lift it a lot faster. And since I don't know what I'm doing, I need to go as slow as possible. So anyway, I want streaks. I don't really want a full, I don't want to lift this thing, the whole thing. All right. Yeah, whatever. So I went ahead and applied it really quickly, which was the fastest that I've ever done probably anything before. And I'm using, instead of a rat tail comb to work the product through, I'm using this comb because I still want to give it streaks. I want it to have a little bit of dark and a little bit of light. Just to give it some body, because it was really dark, and now that I've been wearing some lighter colors, you know, I just wanted that lift. But anyway, I applied it really quickly, starting from the back and working on the sides, and then the 2 sections in the back, and then the top. So then I kind of raked it through each section to make sure I distributed the product evenly. All right. So what I'm gonna do after that is I think I'm gonna put the tone. I gotta rinse it out. Yeah, I gotta rinse it and wash it. And then I'm gonna apply this toner. So the toner that the lady used on the YouTube video was this particular toner here, T28. And she also used a the 20V developer. And it's 1 part this, 2 parts that. So I'm gonna mix that in this bowl. And what that's gonna do is help kind of tone down. Now I am gonna wash it with a purple shampoo. The purple shampoo that I'm using is actually this Shimmer Lights shampoo. So this is the shampoo that I'm going to use. And then that's going to help, I guess, do whatever it does. Like, I have no idea. So then we're going to, so you're going to shampoo it. We're going to tone it down. And then hopefully this is going to turn out the way I want it. So when I did apply the powder and the lightener and the developer, I kind of left the fronts, at least my attempt was, see how I left the fronts still a little dark? Because I do want some kind of definition, you know, to create more of like a natural, kind of like an ombre, I guess. Ombre. Wow, I want Mexican food all of a sudden. Ombre. But anyway, yeah, some of the tools that I use, of course, you want your little bowl. So I have 1 bowl that I'm using for my lift, and then I have another bowl that I'm going to use for the toner. So that's already here. Some of the things I use are these clips. So these help me define the parts here. These were really good. They held in place really, really well. I also have a brush that I use to make sure I took out all the kinks. The brush, I have 2 brushes. I have one, now it's all dirty, I'll rinse that first. But I have one that I use for the lightener, and then I'm using this one right here for the toner. And that's it. I also put down, this is just a trash bag, you know, to protect the surfaces. And you could also use it too, like for the ends. I mean, you could literally just kind of, you know, rake it on here and keep it moving. I used 1 packet, but then as I got toward the end, I found that I needed a little bit more. So I'm kind of glad I picked up 2 when I went back to my local beauty supply store. But this is where we are. So I set my Alexa timer for, I believe, 15 minutes. But as I'm looking at this, I can already see a huge difference in the color. I can actually see the streaks. If I were to take my camera, because I'm going to remove my glove lightly and come back to it, and I'm going to give you another view of, see the top? You can actually see where it is lifting. And based on what I see so far, I think I'm really going to be happy with this thing. I mean, I know I will get my technique down a little better, but for the most part, it's been pretty uneventful. We're not done yet, but we'll see. But yeah, I think girlfriend is gonna be okay. I think she's gonna be all right. Now, keep in mind that wherever you apply the product first, it's going to immediately start lifting, and that's why it's important to start in the back or in the rear of the head, or the nape of the, well, she really don't have a neck, so yeah, the back, we'll stick with that. Yeah, you kind of start in the back because that's going to start developing a lot sooner. But wow, you know what, I'm telling you, 2 other failed attempts. Learned a lesson that you can't just buy a semi-permanent color thinking that you're going to color a wig that's a 1B. It really does need to be lifted first. I also found out if you happen to go too light, you can always come back with the color that you're seeking. So the color that I'm going for is this honey brown color, which I believe is what's on this wig. Yeah, child, you see right there, she lifting up. I had to throw her on because I had to go back to the beauty supply place. Can't go up in there looking all raggedy now. No, you never know who you're gonna see. But anyway, yeah. So we're gonna be back after Alexa does her thing, and then I'll show you the whole shampoo process, and then we're gonna go with the toner. But I also need to go back and look at this YouTube video to make sure I'm following directions correctly. So see you in a minute. Ciao.